In the event that China decides to invade Taiwan and they decide to invoke their alliance with us to bring US troops to their aid, I believe that we must not intervene with military action. People are going to argue that if we don't react aggressively, it's going to make us look bad compared to our rival on the global stage. But I would argue that this is no longer the 1970s and the 80s. China is a new global superpower, our only comparable rival, and we are slowly falling off the top of the global chain. Our own people would agree. A poll conducted by Pew Research found that a majority of US citizens say the United States' influence is waning globally. It's something most of us hadn't ever believed would happen, but with NATO on the brink of collapse and BRICS on the rise, it seems inevitable. I would instead argue that not intervening with our military might be the smarter move, especially considering the problems we already face domestically. I believe that we instead move to supporting Taiwan through funding and weapon sales, sharing intelligence, leaving the current military stationed as it determines, and moving to act directly as a mediator between the conflicts of the two nations. I believe this will make us look not only as a peaceful nation compared to what we are currently seen as, but also it will establish us as further leadership if we manage to help a large global superpower and a smaller state achieve peace and achieve some form of plan so that violence does not occur. We have yet to see how the Russo-Ukraine war ends, but through financial and weaponry support, they have been able to hold their own, stalling a full invasion from Russia. The most recent update being from the BBC that Zelensky is pushing for another peace discussion. Way too much is reliant on having at bare minimum an amicable relationship between the US and China. If China does choose to attack, it would create a crisis of mass proportions that almost every nation globally is going to feel because they trade with either or both of these nations. It's something that might actually reach our shores. It will freeze trade. Nuclear disaster will suddenly seem possible. It's a situation that leaves no winners. At the Brookings Institution, they discuss this very subject, and they state that the United States makes it unambiguously clear to Beijing that were it ever to attack Taiwan in a concerted attempt to coerce capitulation and reunification, the US-China relationship could never be the same. War might happen, but we should remain ambiguous and non-committal on that point, partly to deter Taiwan from rash action. It might be a pacifist position, but war between China and the US can never happen. There's too much at stake, and we should instead work towards a peaceful path forward.